Hello, everyone, and welcome to the call. I'm Dan Ashendorf, and I've got Mimi here with me, who has created a community on School, which is called Divorce GPS. And I've asked her to come on the call with me today just to introduce herself and the community that she's creating. And we'll be talking a little bit about divorce and the value that her community brings to the world and so on and so forth. So it's going to be a fascinating topic. Um, so with that said, Mimi, lovely to have you on the call. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and the community and all that kind of good background stuff as well?
Yes, and thank you for having me, Dan. So, everything I do, Dan, is to impact peace on the planet. And I discovered when I was 14 that when people have inner peace, the world will have outer peace. Now, I'm one person, I'm not a government person. So, how I do that, or one of the ways I do that, is I support people who are on the separation divorce journey to find a little bit more peace in that already overwhelmed, angst filled heart of theirs by supporting them with what there is to do. Because very often when you're on that road, you get so overwhelmed by the, oh my God, what do I do first thing that you freeze and emotions go haywire. So that's what I do. I help people get peace in their hearts so that they can get through the weeds and start building the next chapter of their life.
Yeah, I guess the first emotion could, I mean, I guess there's many emotions in divorce, isn't there? And luckily I haven't gone through it, but I'm thinking of the various kind of entanglements, the complex emotional challenges that people are going to be facing. So you're thinking about financing, you're thinking of, money, like how am I going to survive, children, the sheer panic of starting over. The later in life you are, potentially the harder it is to find another partner to share life with, right? Because when we're kind of beautiful and young, kind of comes easy, but then as kind of time goes on, and we've already got established families, it gets harder and harder, I think. So, do you find that as well, Mimi, that the whole emotional thing is really at the kind of the very heart of potentially navigating through this minefield?
It is. And it's a balance between the emotions and keeping a hold on your emotions and taking the steps to do what you need to do. Because when you get overwhelmed and you don't know what to do, you freeze, right? You think that we've come to this, whatever our ages are, but we're in double digits now, right? And you'd think you'd know what to do about things, but we don't grow up. Nobody told us what to do in a breakup. They only told us what to do when you get married and how to have great marriages, not how to have great breakups, right?
Yeah.
But as we do definitely, there are processes in place, and it's unfortunate. But many people, when they're breaking up from a marriage, the first thing that they do is they run to a lawyer because that's what they know, that's what they can think of. And that's the worst thing to do first, because the lawyer is going to ask you for a bunch of things that you can do on your own or with other people that are going to cost you thousands less than he will charge you. And I really do mean thousands less. So it is important to stop and breathe and reach out to somebody and figure out what there is to do to uncouple yourself. It's a process to uncouple yourself. And with women, Dan, I don't know if you're aware of this, but women are all about security. And there may be a whole slew of women out there that want to leave a marriage for whatever reason, but they're insecure because they don't know what it takes or what it looks like. And that's the other place that I come in. I could share with them what the journey could look like for them and give them some stability underneath their feet, if you will, to know the steps that there are to take to do that.
Interesting. So maybe let me ask you this. What kind of impact do you hope Divorce GPS will have on the broader conversation around divorce and recovery?
The broader conversation, well, It's interesting. Nobody's ever asked me that question before, but if I had to say, I would like it to be that people are not afraid of divorce and separation. I don't want people necessarily to fall into separation and divorce because it's now easy to do. I'm not, definitely do not want to do that. I'm not saying that, but to not be afraid of it and to know that whether you're male or female, you have yourself to just take new steps going forward. And I'm going to give one example from my own divorce that really worked well. My husband and I are man and wife, like, you know, every other married couple. And when we decided to get a separation and divorce, the first thing we did was say to each other, okay, we're not man and wife anymore. Let's recreate our relationship as best friends. And that's what we did. And because of that, the expectations within that process were very easy to manage because we weren't fighting with each other as on opposite sides. We were talking to each other within the context of a friendship. And that is where I'd like to see separation and divorce go in the bigger context.
I think that's a great way to look at it because it can be very acrimonious, and you do keep hearing stories like you see celebrities, without naming any names, but they just drain they just drain the life out of each other. And the hate and the damage that is done to reputations is just insane. And it makes you kind of think, well, if you guys just had a cup of coffee together and just kind of hashed out what was wrong, or potentially, kind of come to someone like yourself and just kind of look at the bigger picture rather than just try to destroy one another, that just would have made your life a lot easier, right? Just the ego thing is taken over.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In our society, we're brought up to be mad at, angry, or even hate the
Yeah.
person that you're separating from. It's like part of the culture. I can remember with my now ex best friend, who's become my best friend. When he would go to see his family would always tell him, "Why are you talking to Mimi? You should be mad at her. You should be blah, blah, blah," all these other kinds of things." And very often he would come back and we'd have a conversation, and he would be influenced by that. And it would take a calm voice. I didn't have to say, "Hey, by the way, we're friends." No, just talk to him calmly and relax and remind him, just by the way I was being, that we were friends and we didn't have to look at being angry at each other. We're there to support each other through whatever we need. So, but it is, yeah, our society is set up to have this kind of a thing going on between
Yeah,
us.
very
Yeah,
adversarial. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, adversarial.
So when someone looks back after being part of Divorce GPS for a few months, what kind of growth or mindset shift would you hope that they've experienced?
A lot more confidence. The fear has diminished significantly because they are in control of their life.
Yeah.
It's the best way to say it.
There's like a boat that has a direction instead of just being thrown in any which way, meaning that you can end up as a shipwreck, right? So you could just end up crashing somewhere with not much financing. Your children you could lose the visitation rights. I mean, this stuff is really high stakes, isn't it? You,
Yeah,
you get it wrong. You get it wrong, your life could really be turned around.
yeah. I like to use the analogy of the yellow brick road. You
Yes.
can freeze at the very beginning of your yellow brick road for divorce, or you can keep taking one step at a time. And one
Yeah.
step at a time will bring you down the path, and you'll have to do things along that pathway. But as long as you're taking steps, you will get to the land of Oz called the new chapter of your life.
Yeah. So, what is actually involved in Divorce GPS? Like, what kind of deliverables are there if anyone is looking to join? What can they expect inside?
So it is a combination of do it yourself and a combination of working with people. The one thing I knew when I was divorced is that I felt like I was alone. So I wanted a program that offered support to people. I have set up some group times in the calendar, as well as private one-on-ones with me, where I could support people with questions about the to-dos, what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and things like that. In the group sessions, the idea is to train or retrain people on things like budgeting and forecasting and a whole variety of different structures that are required to go forward. Excuse me, filling out a legal brief before you go to your lawyer. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat.
Yeah.
That will save you thousands of dollars because you don't have to tell him certain things. If you can just hand it to him on a piece of paper, it saves you thousands of dollars. A variety of different things like that. That's what happens in the group sessions. I do have once a week office hours. And then other than that, for the people that need to assimilate on their own, I have some modules in the classroom section of the group. And the modules range in a whole variety of different topics, from legal to co-parenting to reframing yourself. There's also resources there and a library of a whole variety of different things. If all of a sudden you find yourself without time and you don't know what to do, there's resources there as well. So it's definitely a combination of be with people and do it on your own. I've tried to make it very a little bit of both.
Nice. And of course, you've chosen school as your platform of distributing the content, and so people join in, and there's a whole bunch of things you can do inside, right? Like, it could be like lives, and there's a great little kind of library of things that people can access and so on. So that's a kind of, that's a good way to interact and add value to people, almost like real time as well, isn't it? So,
It is. Yeah, when you join the group, you have to join school in order to be part of the group. But there is a way for you to look for other communities. And a good example of a community to look for would be passive income trends. Used to be Dan's group, but if you do a search for that and you go into his classroom section, you're going to find a whole variety of things, not just having to do with passive income, but to do with other things. But there's a whole variety of things. Let's say you're going through menopause. Let's say you want exercise programs, you want whatever. There's a whole variety of people on the platform with groups that will potentially support the needs out there.
nice, nice. Awesome. Well, I mean, I think what's really good here is that you're plugging a very unique gap between the professionals who tend to be very, very expensive and the people who are just without knowledge. They're just in panic modes and they're hemorrhaging money. And there aren't really many or any at all practitioners that kind of just do it pretty much almost like selflessly. So I know you get some mediators and this, that, and the other, but this is very different, isn't it? It's a very unique way of looking at the whole process, but without being adversarial and trying to synchronize or strategize with each other to make sure that the outcome is going to be the best possible for both parties. So I think that's
Yeah,
a really unique and
yeah.
powerful positioning. Yeah.
I don't deal with the mindset of everything. That's for the divorce coach and your therapist or anything else like that. I specifically deal with the things that you have to do
Yeah. Like
to
deliverables. Yeah.
the deliverables, the hardcore actions, steps that you need to do in real life in order to get onto that next chapter. I just
Nice.
want to say before we close out, there is always, I'm always happy to help people if they want to set up their own school platform because they have courses. And, you know, people that are going through divorce have their own background stuff that they're doing. But my first love is really going to be to bring peace to somebody's heart going forward.
So if anyone's going through this process at the moment, where can they find out more information about you?
Oh, the best place to find more information about me is on LinkedIn.
Okay,
Yeah. And if you go to LinkedIn and you do a search for Mimi Thrasher, I promise you, you'll find it. And you can reach
nice.
out to me. I do want to say that I vet everybody that joins the group. The group is considered in schools considered private. Why? Because the community where people talk, I want it to be how do I say this? I want people to feel confident to be free flowing in the group. So I don't want to have two spouses in the group. So
Yeah.
everybody that joins the group is only by my approval only. And I will probably ask people, okay, what's the name of your spouse? Because I want to make sure that I don't have him join, right? So that there's a freeness about it, security about the community.
Wow. And that's a really unique thing as well. I mean, you don't see anyone offering something similar. So LinkedIn under Mimi Thrasher,
Yeah.
and that's the best way to get started.
Yeah, that's the best way to get started. The other way to do it is to go to school.com. You can see the link in the top right corner. You might not be able to get to /divorce GPS right away, but if you go to school.com and then you do a search for divorce GPS, it will bring you right to my page.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Mimi. It's been really educational to have you on the call, and looking forward to speaking to you as well on our weekly calls and such like. And yeah, really enjoyed. And I do really do think you're bringing something unique to that marketplace where people need support just at the right time. So it's great that you did decide to go ahead and create that resource for people. And yeah, so with that said, Mimi and everyone else, wishing you a really nice weekend, and we'll speak again very soon.
Thank you so much for your time, Dan, and for having me on the show.
My pleasure. Take care then. Bye bye.